Did you dance at the Oscar parties afterwards?
No.
No, you didn't dance afterwards?
No, I'm too old.
Really? Now, wait a minute. Don't we have some video of you dancing here? This is from, let's take a look at this.
Oh my God, you did it! Oh my
you
God.
have the moves.
Oh my God.
Picture a television screen in 1971, pulsing with music, dancers moving in perfect sync, and a voice booming, "Love, peace, and soul." This was Soul Train, a cultural juggernaut that brought black music and style into living rooms across America. For 35 years, under Don Cornelius's steady hand, it shaped how the world saw rhythm, fashion, and resilience. But beneath the sequins and smiles lay stories the producers hoped would stay buried. From hushed scandals to battles for control, Soul Train carried secrets as bold as its dance moves. What drove its rise? Why did it fade? And what truths were swept off the stage? Today we uncover 20 strange facts that peel back the curtain on this iconic show. Some will surprise you, others might unsettle you, but all reveal the hidden heartbeat of Soul Train, the secret Chicago origins that almost never went national. Before Soul Train became a national phenomenon, it was a fragile experiment in Chicago's gritty television scene, a fact producers polished out of the show's glossy legend. In 1970, Don Cornelius, a former radio DJ with a smooth voice and sharper ambition, launched a local dance show on WCIU-TV. The budget was razor-thin, the set was makeshift, and the audience was mostly curious locals. Producers later framed Soul Train as an instant hit, but the truth was messier. Early episodes teetered on cancellation as viewership lagged and sponsors hesitated, wary of a black-centered show in a segregated media landscape. Cornelius, undeterred, used his radio platform to plug the show, slipping promos into his broadcasts like a guerrilla marketer. This hustle, rarely mentioned, kept the dream alive. Why hide these shaky beginnings? The show's later success demanded a myth of inevitability, a story of triumph over doubt. Admitting those early stumbles risked dimming its shine. Yet, there's something inspiring in this secret. Cornelius faced a system stacked against him, pitching a vision of black joy to skeptical executives. He scraped together funds, sometimes from his own pocket, and leaned on Chicago's vibrant music scene to draw talent. By 1971, his persistence paid off when the show caught the eye of syndication deals, launching it nationwide. The weird twist? Some early episodes, deemed too raw or unpolished, were quietly shelved, never aired again, to protect the show's growing reputation. This origin story reveals the grit behind the groove. Could Soul Train have survived without Cornelius's relentless drive? It's a question that lingers. Those early days in Chicago, fraught with risk, laid the foundation for a revolution. As we move forward, you'll see how this pattern of hiding struggles shaped the show's journey, setting the stage for even wilder secrets. The band guests who were too real for TV. In the 1970s, Soul Train was a beacon of black expression, but some guests were deemed too bold for its spotlight, a truth producers carefully concealed. The show thrived on vibrant performances, yet certain artists, especially those tied to the Black Power movement, found their invitations quietly rescinded. Their crime? Lyrics or speeches that leaned too political, too unapologetic, risking sponsor backlash or network scrutiny. Producers, protective of the show's mainstream appeal, edited out fiery performances or banned acts outright, burying episodes that could have sparked controversy. One rumored guest, a rising poet with militant verses, nearly took the stage before executives pulled the plug, fearing a public uproar. These decisions were hidden to maintain Soul Train's image as a safe, celebratory space. Why suppress such voices? The 1970s media landscape was tense, with networks wary of anything that could alienate advertisers or invite government oversight. Yet, the irony stings. A show built on black pride muted some of its boldest advocates. The weird twist? Some band artists like Gil Scott-Heron later became cultural icons, their absence from Soul Train a silent regret. This secret reveals the tightrope Don Cornelius walked, balancing authenticity with survival. How many powerful performances were lost to caution? The question haunts. As we move on, we'll uncover a darker personal struggle Don faced, one that shaped the show's final years in ways no one saw coming. Don Cornelius's hidden health battles before his tragic end. Long before Don Cornelius's heartbreaking suicide in 2012, he faced silent struggles that producers kept tightly guarded to preserve Soul Train's radiant image. In the early 1980s, Cornelius suffered a brain aneurysm, leading to invasive surgery and chronic seizures that plagued him for decades. Behind his cool, commanding presence, he endured debilitating pain and depression, conditions he rarely discussed publicly. Producers ensured these struggles stayed out of the spotlight, fearing they would tarnish the show's upbeat legacy or Cornelius's persona as its unshakable leader. He continued hosting, masking his discomfort with trademark charisma, a fact that makes his performances even more remarkable. The weird twist? Some close to him later revealed he worked through episodes in agony, determined to keep the train rolling. Soul Train was more than a show. It was a symbol of resilience, and any crack in its foundation risked unraveling that narrative. Admitting Cornelius's vulnerabilities could have shifted focus from the music to the man, something he and the team avoided. This secrecy adds a poignant layer to his story. How did he carry such weight while uplifting millions? It's a testament to his strength, yet a reminder of the cost. The infamous lost episode that was erased from archives. One Soul Train episode vanished without a trace, a secret producers buried to protect the show's polished reputation. In the mid-1970s, a taping went spectacularly awry when a guest performer, rumored to be a rising funk artist, spiraled into an unscripted meltdown on set. Details are scarce. Whispers suggest a heated outburst, possibly fueled by personal tensions or substance issues, disrupted the usual joyful vibe. The cameras kept rolling, capturing chaos that clashed with Soul Train's wholesome image. Rather than air the episode, producers scrubbed it from the archives, erasing evidence of the incident to avoid public backlash or sponsor concerns. The weird twist? Some crew members claimed bootleg tapes survived, traded quietly among collectors, though none have surfaced publicly. Soul Train thrived on consistency, delivering love and soul week after week. A single misstep could have fueled critics eager to dismiss the show as unprofessional. This erasure speaks to the pressure of maintaining perfection in a skeptical industry. What really happened that day? The silence invites speculation, but the loss of this moment feels like a gap in the show's vibrant history. It's a reminder of how carefully curated Soul Train's legacy was. As we explore more weird facts, we'll uncover darker allegations against Don Cornelius himself, revealing a scandal that threatened to derail the show's moral core. Sexual assault allegations against Don Cornelius. In the 2022 docuseries Secrets of Playboy, a chilling revelation surfaced. Two women accused Don Cornelius of assault in 1974, a bombshell producers buried to shield Soul Train's shining legacy. The allegations described violent encounters, allegedly tied to events at the Playboy Mansion, where Cornelius mingled with music and media elites. Details were sparse but damning, painting a stark contrast to his public image as the suave, soulful host. Producers and those close to Cornelius suppressed these claims, ensuring they stayed whispers in Hollywood's shadows, far from the show's vibrant dance floor. The weird twist? The accusations emerged decades later, long after Cornelius's influence had waned, suggesting a calculated silence to protect the show's cultural weight. What drove this cover-up? Soul Train was a beacon of black excellence, and any stain on its creator risked dimming its impact. Admitting such allegations could have alienated fans and sponsors, threatening the show's survival in a cutthroat industry. This hidden truth casts a shadow over Cornelius's legacy, forcing us to grapple with the man behind the myth. How could someone who uplifted so many harbor such darkness? The question lingers, unanswered, adding complexity to Soul Train's story. It's a sobering reminder that even icons are human, flawed, and fallible. Another scandal this time, a domestic violence arrest that rocked the set and tested the loyalty of those who kept Soul Train chugging forward. The domestic violence arrest that rocked the set. In 2008, Don Cornelius faced a storm that threatened Soul Train's enduring legacy, an arrest for domestic violence against his wife, Victoria. The incident, detailed in court records, involved a heated altercation at their Los Angeles home, leading to charges of spousal battery. Producers and those close to Cornelius downplayed the event, framing it as a private matter to preserve his image as the show's revered architect. He pleaded no contest, receiving probation, and the story faded from headlines. The weird twist? This occurred years after Cornelius stepped back from hosting, yet the scandal still casts a shadow over Soul Train's nostalgic glow, with insiders working overtime to distance the show from the headlines. What fueled this rush to contain the fallout? The show's legacy was a cultural touchstone, and tarnishing its founder risked unraveling decades of goodwill. Protecting Cornelius meant protecting the dream he built. This moment, though, reveals the weight of his personal struggles, clashing with the public's adoration. How does one reconcile the man with the myth? It's a question that haunts Soul Train's story. Sabotage attempts by rival networks. In the 1970s, as Soul Train soared, rival networks schemed to derail its unstoppable rhythm. A campaign producers buried to keep the show's image untarnished. Competing TV stations, envious of its growing audience and cultural clout, resorted to underhanded tactics. Whispers of deliberate scheduling conflicts surfaced, with rival shows slotted to siphon viewers. Some networks allegedly pressured advertisers to pull funding, spreading rumors of Soul Train's instability. Don Cornelius fought back, leveraging his charm and industry ties to secure sponsors, but these battles stayed hidden to project strength. The weird twist? Anonymous tips, possibly from rival execs, targeted Soul Train sponsors with fabricated scandals, aiming to choke its budget. Exposing these attacks would have revealed vulnerabilities, risking the show's hard-won credibility in a cutthroat industry. And so, they covered it up. By keeping the sabotage quiet, producers ensured Soul Train remained a symbol of triumph, not a victim. This shadow war underscores the fierce competition to control black voices on TV. The resilience shown here echoes the show's spirit, but darker secrets loom. Next, we'll unravel whispers of excess, where rumors of drugs among dancers and guests threaten to unravel Soul Train's carefully crafted family-friendly facade. Drug rumors among dancers and guests. Behind Soul Train's vibrant dance floor, whispers of drug use swirled, a secret producers buried to protect the show's wholesome image. In the 1970s and 80s, as cocaine surged in Hollywood, rumors hinted that some dancers and guest artists indulged off-camera, fueling late-night parties after tapings. These stories, though unconfirmed, persisted in crew gossip and later memoirs, suggesting a stark contrast to the show's clean-cut vibe. Producers clamped down, enforcing strict oversight to keep such behavior out of sight, fearing sponsor backlash or public outrage. The weird twist? Some dancers, years later, admitted to experimenting, claiming the era's excess touched even Soul Train's sanctified stage. The urgency to conceal these rumors stemmed from the show's role as a beacon of black excellence. Any hint of scandal could have handed critics ammunition to dismiss it as reckless. This hidden tension reveals the pressure to uphold perfection amid a hedonistic decade. The effort to shield Soul Train's reputation worked, but at a cost, silencing stories that might have humanized its stars. Next, pulling back the curtain on Don Cornelius's strict rules, where his iron grip on set behavior shaped the show in ways few realized. The strict set rules, Don enforced ruthlessly. Don Cornelius ran Soul Train like a disciplined orchestra, enforcing rules so strict they became the stuff of legend, a reality producers kept quiet to avoid scrutiny. No cursing, no revealing outfits, no unscripted antics. Cornelius demanded decorum to maintain the show's polished image. Dancers faced swift dismissal for breaking these codes, with some firings hushed to preserve the family-friendly facade. This rigidity, rarely discussed, clashed with the free-spirited 1970s music scene, creating tension on set. The weird twist? Cornelius's conservative streak, rooted in his vision of uplifting black culture, sometimes alienated younger artists embracing bolder expressions. The drive to conceal these strictures was about control. Publicizing the rules, or the oustings, could have painted Soul Train as stifling, undermining its cool reputation. This discipline, though, ensured the show's longevity in a skeptical industry. It's a paradox. Cornelius's iron grip preserved the dream, but limited its freedom. The dancers' stories, bound by these unseen chains, add depth to the show's legacy. Next, we'll dive into a financial storm, where scams and shady deals nearly derailed Soul Train's journey, revealing a battle fought far from the dance floor's spotlight. Financial scams that nearly bankrupted the show. In its early years, Soul Train danced on the edge of ruin, caught in financial scams that producers hushed to keep the show's momentum alive. shady business partners and questionable sponsorship deals drained funds, with rumors of embezzlement swirling among early investors. Don Cornelius, stretched thin, scrambled to secure new backing, sometimes negotiating with dubious characters to keep cameras rolling. These crises, buried in the show's origin story, threatened to halt its rise before national syndication. The weird twist? One shady sponsor, tied to a failing record label, allegedly funneled Soul Train money into personal ventures, leaving the show scrambling. The decision to cloak these troubles was strategic. Exposing financial chaos risked scaring off advertisers and tarnishing the show's image as a black success story. By shielding these struggles, producers crafted a narrative of unstoppable triumph. This hidden fight reveals the precarious tightrope Soul Train walked, balancing art against commerce. The resilience shown here echoes the show's spirit, but darker secrets await. Soon we'll uncover how political performances were quietly edited, a move that muted voices to keep the show safe in a turbulent era. Political episodes edited for safety. In the 1970s, Soul Train faced pressure to tame its boldest voices, with producers quietly editing episodes featuring politically charged performances to avoid trouble. Artists inspired by the Black Power movement or anti-war sentiments brought lyrics and speeches deemed too provocative for mainstream TV. Fearing FCC scrutiny or sponsor backlash, producers trimmed these segments, sometimes re-recording entire performances to soften their edge. These edits, rarely acknowledged, ensured the show stayed palatable to a broad audience. The weird twist? Some uncensored versions aired overseas, hinting at what American viewers missed. Muting these moments was rooted in survival. Soul Train's mission to uplift black culture required navigating a media landscape wary of radical voices. By concealing these cuts, producers preserved the show's accessibility, but at the cost of diluting its rawest expressions. This hidden compromise reveals the delicate balance between authenticity and pragmatism. The story of these silenced performances adds a layer of complexity to Soul Train's legacy. Next, under the microscope is a quieter scandal, where backstage romances and affairs instigated drama that producers fought to keep off the public's radar. The real reason the show ended in 2006. By 2006, Soul Train's vibrant run halted, not just from fading ratings but from internal feuds and Don Cornelius's exit, a truth producers veiled to soften the show's fade. The rise of hip-hop and changing TV landscapes strained the show's relevance, while disputes over ownership and creative control fractured its core. Cornelius, who stepped back from hosting in 1993, distanced himself further, leaving the show adrift. Producers spun a narrative of a natural end, hiding the bitter clashes that sealed its fate. The weird twist? Revival talk surfaced, but collapsed amid disagreements, leaving Soul Train a relic. The choice to obscure these rifts protected the show's legacy as a cultural triumph. Admitting discord risked tarnishing its joyful image, especially for fans nostalgic for its peak. This hidden turmoil reveals the challenge of sustaining a revolution against shifting tides. The story of Soul Train's end is less about decline and more about a dream stretched too thin. Dancers and stars step into an unholy rhythm that producers struggled to keep under control. Hidden romances and affairs on set. Beneath Soul Train's dazzling lights, secret romances bloomed among dancers and guest stars, a spicy reality producers hushed to avoid scandal. In the 1970s and 80s, the set pulsed with chemistry, with some fleeting flings and passionate affairs sparking off camera. Whispers of dancers dating visiting artists or crew members swirled, but producers enforced silence to maintain the show's professional image. These liaisons, rarely documented, ranged from harmless crushes to tangled dramas that threatened set harmony. The weird twist? A few of these hidden romances led to lasting marriages, quietly woven into Soul Train's untold history. Publicizing backstage passions could have shifted attention from the music, risking tabloid fodder that might alienate fans. By keeping these stories under wraps, producers safeguarded the show's wholesome appeal. These hidden sparks reveal the human pulse behind the polished performances. The dance floor hid more than steps. It held secrets of the heart. Next, we'll pivot to a different kind of chaos, where accidents and injuries during filming tested the crew's ability to keep Soul Train's flawless image intact. Accidents and injuries during filming. The Soul Train dance floor dazzled millions, but behind the scenes, accidents and injuries marred its groove, a reality producers edited out to preserve the show's flawless image. High-energy routines in the 1970s and 80s led to slips, sprains, and collisions, with dancers occasionally limping off set. One infamous incident saw a performer twist an ankle mid-line, forcing quick camera cuts to hide the mishap. Producers buried these moments, ensuring tapes never aired, to maintain the illusion of effortless joy. The weird twist? A dancer's injury sparked a lawsuit, settled quietly to avoid headlines. The rush to conceal these mishaps was about protecting the show's magic. A single stumble could have fueled critics' doubts about Soul Train's professionalism, risking its hard-earned respect. By erasing these flaws, producers kept the focus on the music and moves. These hidden hurts reveal the physical toll behind the glamour, a testament to the dancer's grit. The stage held more than rhythm, it bore unseen scars. Soon, we'll uncover a different tension, where superstar rejections expose the delicate politics of who got to shine on Soul Train's iconic platform. Rejected superstars who begged to appear. Not every music legend graced Soul Train's stage, some were turned away, a secret producers buried to avoid industry feuds. In the 1970s, big names, from rock crossover acts to early hip-hop pioneers, pleaded for a spot, only to face rejection. Reasons varied: scheduling clashes, mismatched vibes, or Don Cornelius's strict vision for the show's soulful identity. These snubs, kept quiet to dodge bad press, left some stars bitter, though a few later reconciled with guest spots. The weird twist? One rejected icon, rumored to be a Motown giant, was passed over due to a personal clash with Cornelius, a decision the show later regretted. Publicizing spurned stars could have sparked headlines, tarnishing Soul Train's welcoming image. By keeping these refusals under wraps, producers preserved harmony in a competitive industry. These untold slights reveal the delicate balance of curating a cultural phenomenon. The stage was a privilege, not a right. Next, we'll decode a playful mystery where the scramble board's hidden messages whispered secrets to those in the know. The scramble board's secret codes. The Soul Train scramble board, a fan-favorite game, hid more than jumbled names. It concealed coded messages, a playful secret producers kept under wraps. In the 1970s and 80s, the board's puzzles sometimes embedded inside jokes or subtle nods to crew members, crafted by writers to amuse insiders. Occasionally, cryptic hints at social issues or industry gossip slipped in, unnoticed by most viewers. These Easter eggs, never publicly explained, added a layer of mystique to the show's lighthearted segment. The weird twist? Some fans later claimed to decode political references, sparking theories about hidden activism. The decision to veil these codes was about keeping the game fun and accessible. Revealing their depth risked alienating casual viewers or inviting scrutiny over subtle jabs. By preserving the mystery, producers ensured the board remained a quirky highlight, not a controversy. These hidden messages show Soul Train's playful side, blending wit with its cultural mission. The board was more than a game. It was a canvas for clever secrets. Don's fights with network execs. Don Cornelius's battles with network executives ignited tempers, a fiery secret producers buried to protect Soul Train's harmonious image. In the 1970s, as the show gained traction, execs pushed to dilute its black-centric vision, demanding mainstream acts or format tweaks. Cornelius, fiercely protective, clashed hard, some say physically, in heated meetings to defend his creation. These confrontations, hinted at in the American Soul series, were hushed to avoid bad press. His victories kept Soul Train authentic, but the fights left scars. The weird twist? Some execs later praised Cornelius's defiance, admitting it shaped the show's legacy. The choice to cloak these clashes was deliberate. Publicizing them risked painting Soul Train as a battleground, not a beacon of unity. By keeping the struggles quiet, producers preserved the show's uplifting narrative. These hidden fights reveal Cornelius's relentless drive to protect his vision against meddling suits. The studio was a battleground as much as a stage. Next, we'll turn to a sadder note, exploring the post-show struggles of dancers whose falls from grace were kept far from Soul Train's glittering spotlight. Post-show tragedies of famous dancers. And while Soul Train's dancers lit up the screen, many faced grim fates after the spotlight faded, a truth producers distanced from the show's legacy. In the years following their iconic performances, some dancers battled poverty, addiction, or obscurity. their struggles hidden to preserve the show's joyful image. Stories of homelessness or substance abuse among former stars surfaced in quiet corners, but producers avoided linking these tragedies to Soul Train. The weird twist? A few dancers, like Cheryl Song, rebounded, finding new paths in dance or media, their resilience a silent triumph. Tying the show to its stars' hardships risked tarnishing its uplifting narrative, especially for fans cherishing its cultural impact. By keeping these struggles private, producers maintained Soul Train's shine, but at the cost of acknowledging its human toll. These dancers' untold stories add a bittersweet note to the show's history. Their moves defined an era, yet their pain went unseen. Next, we'll unravel a failed revival, where dreams of restarting Soul Train crumbled under hidden tensions and missteps. The attempted revival that crashed and burned. After Soul Train ended in 2006, whispers of a revival sparked hope, but internal chaos doomed the effort, a failure producers hid to avoid embarrassment. Plans for a reboot in the late 2000s involved modern stars and updated formats, but clashing visions among new producers and rights holders led to stalled pilots. Disagreements over tone, whether to chase nostalgia or embrace new genres, sank the project. These missteps, kept quiet to protect the show's legacy, left fans unaware of the near return. The weird twist? Some A-list artists eager to join were left hanging when the deals collapsed. Deciding to bury this flop was about pride. Publicizing a failed revival risked tarnishing Soul Train's untouchable status, turning a cultural icon into a cautionary tale. This hidden stumble reveals the challenge of resurrecting a legend in a changed world. The dream of Soul Train's return flickered briefly, then faded. One final secret looms, where Don Cornelius's last days held a mystery that producers and family kept locked away, a poignant close to the show's complex saga. Don Cornelius's final dark secret before suicide. In 2012, Don Cornelius's suicide stunned the world, but a hidden truth about his final days lingered, veiled by producers and family to honor his privacy. Whispers suggest Cornelius left behind a note or unspoken regrets tied to Soul Train's struggles, perhaps guilt over its decline or unresolved scandals. These details, never fully disclosed, were kept quiet to preserve his legacy as a trailblazer. His health battles and personal turmoil, already concealed for years, deepened the mystery of his final act. The weird twist? Some close to him hinted at a connection to the show's buried controversies, like the assault allegations. Exposing Cornelius's private pain risked overshadowing his contributions, reducing a giant to a tragedy. This silence leaves us with a complex portrait of a man who carried Soul Train's weight alone. His end marks a somber close to the show's story. Now, we'll reflect on these revelations, tying together the hidden threads that wove Soul Train's enduring, yet shadowed legacy. Soul Train was more than a dance show. It was a cultural heartbeat, pulsing with joy, struggle, and secrets. From Don Cornelius's hidden battles to erased episodes and silenced voices, these 20 facts reveal the shadows behind its shine. The producers' efforts to conceal scandals, feuds, and failures protected a legacy that uplifted Black culture, but they also buried stories that humanize its triumphs. Each fact, from financial scams to dancers' tragedies, reminds us that even icons carry unseen burdens. Reflecting on this, we see Soul Train's resilience through its imperfections. Which secret surprised you most? Share your thoughts below, and if you've got your own Soul Train memories, let's hear them. Subscribe for more untold stories, hit that like button, and join us next time as we uncover another hidden chapter of history. Until then, keep the love, peace, and soul alive.